Überdenken. Now I know many of you have been requesting movie theories and so on, but when I made Überdenken meaning rethink, I wanted to fill a gap in YouTube, a channel that makes its viewers think, over and over from new angles, and to keep in that mindset in their daily lives. So while I do have plans to make more How to Train Your Dragon 3 related videos, my focus will be on rethink. Sorry to anyone wanting me to focus on movie theories. So for anyone interested, what would it be like in real life to have dragons? In real life, the opening Burke scene would be very different. There would be monstrous nightmares spewing out their molten flames at the Vikings, and then continuing to rip apart the Vikings limb by limb as they burn alive. Also, a Night Fury grabbing various people and dunking them through the water and against various objects and then ripping their limbs off. All the while, their counterparts are being axed to death by raging Vikings that are showing no mercy, with the Viking children hiding as their older siblings are stabbed by hideous zippleback spikes and crushed by grunkles. This would have made Hiccup's story of downing Toothless and then meeting Toothless and showing sympathy to this apparent monster all the more so of a shock. In modern times, we'd likely be shooting them down in the masses, likely to the point of extinction if we hadn't done so already. If we still hadn't, a form of the internet may have been made earlier to give adequate communication between people on how to survive. Our primary devices would have to be fire resistant and crush resistant if they would even exist. The only way that we'd get good reception without it getting destroyed is by putting the satellite network up. Therefore, we may have gotten to space earlier, and a push to leave Earth and move to other planets would be a much higher priority. Dragon training would likely be a real thing even in modern times. Our clothing may be fireproof and dragon teeth resistant and crush resistant. Poisoned bullets and guns to shoot them would likely be a common household item. That is, if dragon right activists didn't interfere with that. We would likely go extinct if we didn't make the dragons go extinct. However, if Hiccup and Toothless's connection came true, our world might be near unrecognizable. In short, much fewer if any roads. Transportation issues would be unheard of. The entire government system would be reworked to work with the dragons. Borders would be unmanageable. The most that the governments could do is have giant metal nets in the air as fences. Remote-controlled cars likely wouldn't exist. Rather, drones would be a toy for the dragons. Similar to a dog and a bone, the drone would be the dragon's bone. The majority of the transportation industry wouldn't exist, and land would either be outrageous or free, depending on if particular governments think that dragons should be free to land anywhere, or only at certain approved locations. Not to mention that we'd likely have to carry fire extinguishers almost everywhere. Dogs would not be man's best friend, dragons would be, or man's greatest current or former enemy, and with the mammoth being brought out of extinction, one can only guess what will be made next. Over and out.